To go and sit down.
Okay. He's not sitting there. We are doing take it back. Where's Fires?
Wait.
Sure. Yes.
You're going to take it back. Wait, we have to. The action has to come from.
You said from the. Sure, not about that.
Ready? Let's do it.
Let's go, Fires.
AC! Take it back! Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back! Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back!
AC!
Take it back!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Take it back!
Action!
Thank you.
Oh God. I want to use this opportunity to thank you all for coming, and I want to use this opportunity to thank you all for gracing this occasion. And I'm going to use this opportunity again to thank you, Mr. Omoyele Sowore, for coming to Columbus. Yeah. Second time I'm going to see you today. We have a very, very interesting interview section with Omoyele Sowore, and he laid down his ideologies, what he planned to do to take Nigeria to the next level. Let me tell you a fact. I wasn't a supporter, and after I dialogue with you, let's support him. The thing is, we all know what's wrong with the system we have back home. And one of the reasons why I support Omoyele Sowore is what is gut. And number two is intelligence. And every question I threw at him, he never mumbled, never had to consult. He was able to answer from here. That's what we need. Most of the leaders we have right now, we know they are outdated.
Lifeless.
It's time for us to retire them. I'm saying this with no apologies. It's time for us to do this. And I really want to appreciate you for what you're doing and what you're going to continue to do. So, of course, we are going to start this occasion with God. And we are going to end with God. Because without God, we are nobody. So I'm going to use this opportunity to call on Mr. Odunaya to, it's not here?
Yes.
Okay, so somebody else to take his place, right? Okay, so we're going to use the opportunity to call on, yes, okay, and we're going to start with prayers, definitely.
Good evening. I'm Rosaire. And on behalf of my senior pastor, he's still going to be here, but he did tell me he might be a little late. So we welcome you. We thank you for coming. It's we call these Kairos moments. You are not here by accident. He's not here by accident. And so we just want to commit this to the Lord and tell him to have his way. Amen. You can bow, you can stand, you can do anything you want to do as far as you're giving your heart to God. Take the stage, Lord, have your way. We are just vessels and nothing more. When you're done, please take the glory. We're satisfied just to see you glorified. Take the stage, Lord, have your way. He's a vessel and nothing more. When you're done, please get the glory. We're satisfied just to see you lifted high. Our Father and our God, we thank you. Father, we are humbly coming before you this evening. You are God who is a master orchestrator. You are God who is the beginning and the end, Alpha and Omega, El Shaddai, who knows the end from the beginning. Father, take your place. In this gathering, we commit it into your hands. You know why we have gathered. You know the heart of your people towards Nigeria. You know the heart of your son towards Nigeria. And so, Lord, we ask you to take your stage. Be preeminent in this place. We are praying sound mind, wisdom, peace, prosperity, and everything you have designed for Nigeria to begin to manifest in the name of Jesus. Father, we commit your son, Sowore, into your hands. It is not by power, it is not by might. Father, it is by your spirit. So lead, guide, direct, and let your name be glorified. Father, we are desperate. We are desperate for a change in our nation. And for such a time as this, Lord, we have prayed, we have believed. Now, Lord, manifest. Use your son. Use your people who have gathered. And let all glory be returned to you. We are expectant that you are about to do a new thing in Nigeria. And so we are glad to say welcome and be present in this meeting. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And of course, he is not just trying to be the president of Christians in Nigeria. He's trying to be the president of Nigerians. No matter what your religious believers, whatever. So, do we have any Muslims in the house? If not, we're gonna move on. All right, I'm gonna use this opportunity again to thank you so much for coming, and thank everybody for coming. And basically, we know who he is, and we know what he is trying to do. We are trying to take Nigeria to the next level. We know what's been going on for a couple of years right now, and right now we have a candidate who has what it takes to take Nigeria to what you and I, as you know, have been dreaming about. So I want to use this opportunity again to thank Mr. Sowore. I want to implore all of us to give him a round of applause for being here. So right now we I'm sure most of us over here are dual citizens. We are American citizens, and at the same time we are Nigerian citizens. So basically we are going to say our national anthem. So we're going to stand up and say our national anthem to honor our motherland. 2, 3, let's go. Arise, O compatriot, Nigeria's call obey, to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes who are never be in vain, to serve with heart and mind. One nation now in freedom, peace and unity.
AAC, take it back. Take it back. Action.
Thank you so much. You can all log yourself. All right. So we all know why this young man is here today in Columbus, Ohio, is to basically gather support for his political ambition. And like I said, initially I never really, supported what Omoyele Sowore, stands for or stood for. But right now, I understand what he's trying to say. We know what's going on in Nigeria right now. And the most important thing is we need to snatch Nigeria. We need to snatch whatever's going on right now, we need to snatch it for those people that are in control right now and put the affairs in the hands of someone that knows what it takes to take Nigeria to the next level. So of course that's why Omoyele Sowore is here, and nobody else than him knows how best to put whatever is planned across to us. So basically what I'm going to do right now is I am going to hand over the microphone to Mr. Omoyele Sowore himself, and of course he's going to be able to explain basically the reason why he's here, and we're going to go from there. Okay, you know what? I think I just give. What we're gonna do is right now we are going to, after the opening prayer, we are going to do the formal introduction of the program by the coordinator of this movement, and allow me to introduce live on stage Miss Rhoda Hackman.
Take it back.
Take it back.
Action.
AAC.
Take it back.
Take it back.
Action.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great Nigerian people. Great Nigeria in diaspora. Great Nigeria in Columbus. Great Nigeria in Waka. I want to thank you all for finding a time in your busy schedule to come out in mass to support this cause. I discovered that it is not easy to get the Nigerian community, Columbus, Ohio, out on a Sunday evening. But guess what? My lovely Nigeria still made it out. And this is an evidence of our love for our dear country, Nigeria. Look, Nigeria will be great again.
That's right.
My fellow Nigerians, both at home and in diaspora, I am delighted to be standing here in your presence in the evening of November 18, 2018, to help me render your support to our Nigeria presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore.
Action!
He is here to tell us about his intention to take Nigeria back to a state of our dream, and also to engage in discussion with our lovely Nigerian community, Columbus, Ohio, on that better ways to forward Nigeria in Columbus, Ohio. Agrees with me that this is the best time for a better Nigeria of our dream, the dream of good road, dream of 24 hours electricity, dream of better education for our children, dream of good health, and dream of so many. Therefore, for that dream to be achieved, we need a son of nobody, but with pedigree. A man who has no money bag, but has the ideas. A young man who has no godfathers, no godmother, but look out to Nigeria of our dream needs us to be part of history. Columbus, Ohio, I know we want to be part of that Nigeria of our dreams. We need men and women. We need young and old. Need children and adults. Needs pastor. Needs deacon. We need bishop. We need reverend, minister, and name them all. Just like America did collectively to achieve that dream that is possible for you and I. The dream to not just attend any school of choice, but possible to attend Ivy League schools. Not to only enter the bus and sit comfortably anywhere, but to also drive in any car of our choice. We all agree that it took a collective effort to make this a reality. It took a pastor to put on his pastoral garments, to preach, support, and sacrifice for the movement that made this dream possible. For that immigrant from Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, to achieve his or her dream. The dream also requires the Caucasian men and women of intelligence who stood for justice rather than sitting on the fence. It took both young and old to participate in the rally that brought about possible dreams today. Therefore, I urge the Nigeria both at home and abroad to see Omoyele Sowore as the candidate of our choice and not a struggle between the Hausa, Yoruba, and an Igbo, because it has always seized a better Nigeria most of the time. For example, as a student in Unilag who fought against the military in 1998 on the issues of the World Bank and IMF policy, Omoyele Sowore perceived that those policies was not going to promote the Nigerian economy based on our state, culture, and development. On this note, I implore for your backing for Omoyele Sowore as he refuses the support from godfathers and godmother. He needs our financial, moral, and other support. The support is not limited, but it comes across money, your money. That money you've been saving ever since you've been in the United States. We need it. It is time to take Nigeria back. Actually, it's not that we are sourcing for money just like that, but as we said, he has no godfather. If he has godfather, means that godfather put him there, and the godfather comes after him to pay back that money. But this time around, he wants you, he wants me, he wants all of us in this room to support him with our money so that we will have a voice. Put your money where your mouth is. Therefore, as we pledge and plead for support, I just want to thank you for your patience and time as we go through the agenda, one after the other. God bless you as you do so. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rhoda. And we're going to move on to the next agenda on the next item on the agenda. And I'm going to use this opportunity to introduce live on stage nobody else than the Mayor Makinde. Mayor Makinde, in case you don't know, he's been in the political scene in Ohio, in the United States of America for some time now, and he has so many messages to pass across to us.
Yeah, much thanks to everybody in the room. You know, and like as you said, I've gotten more in politics because I felt like there was a need here for Nigerian American voice, for African American voice, first and second generation. And it's always exciting to see somebody who has a good message. Message is not only true, message that will actually fix things, and someone that has the intellectual capability, the charisma, you know, to get things done. I met this young man, I'll call him young man, this young man in Nigerian presidential history level. He's a young man. I met this young man today in the studio, and listening to him in there myself, there's a far contrast in what I've heard Nigerian presidents talk like on TV and what I'm hearing him talk like. I mean, it's like night and day. So obviously, you know, we hope that he can get in there and make a difference. So, but as someone who is here in Columbus, Ohio, I'm supposed to do the welcome. So, you know, you're in our home. I'm not the only one here. There's doing work in leadership, or they're showing the Nigerians are great anywhere they go on the globe. Anywhere we are on the globe, Nigerians are great. You find the most educated ones, the most charismatic people, the most well-spoken, well-dressed. So again, there's many of us out here doing this. So on behalf of all the leaders in the room, and I'll go from Sister Edoja, Teresa Edoja. She's the president of NIDO, Ohio here. I don't know if she should please wave your hand. Sister Edoja is the president of NIDO. To Mr. K, you know, he probably doesn't want to recognize him as one of the leaders of ADO. ADO was a pact that we put together to help raise money so Nigerian Americans can have, Africans in general, because ADO means African diaspora, so they can have a voice in the United States. So he's one of the leaders in that group as well. And we have someone who, and we're talking about raising money for you, supporting you, somebody who has done a lot in that kind of sense. You know, when I ran in 2016, I went to SoworeRufai2019. I went to different organizations. I raised $10,000 and I had a competitive race. I was very close to winning that race. But out of that $10,000, I raised $7,000 of it was from SoworeRufai2019. So I mean, you know, it says a lot. So I mean, with that being said, I want to make sure that we recognize Professor Adedeko. People are doing stuff in here, so and I want to make sure they recognize. But on behalf of all these leaders that we're talking about, I'll be remiss not to mention my sister Fedi, Professor Fedi, and she's the state of Ohio has a commission for Africans, not for all Africans, you know, for new Africans, and she's the chairperson of that commission. So when she talks to the governor of Ohio about policies that she passed on behalf of Africans and every day, and we are sitting in the room with her. You know, she can talk to the governor, to the legislature in Ohio about policies that should help us grow and help our children grow. So as we're talking about Nigeria, we're talking about people in the room that can make a difference, a lot of difference. So again, on behalf of all of them, on behalf of myself and my family, I welcome you to Columbus, Ohio, and welcome you to this event. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together again for Mr. Mayor Makinde. All right, before I introduce the Ekun himself, before I give him the mic, you know, the equal of the political scene right now in Nigeria, I'm going to use this opportunity to actually bring some dignitaries to the high table. Join me as I introduce Dr. Haji to the high table. Dr. Haji? Is he here? Yes. All right, let's put your hands together for this. And of course, Mr. Ayedeso. Ayedeso, right? Am I okay? All right. Join us on the high table. Put Chase together for you. Come on. All right. The last person is Dr. J.O. That's what I have on here. Dr. J.O. Who's that? Grace. Oh, Grace. You guys should know. Okay. That's Grace. Oh, Gracie Boise, actually. The general manager of Apex One Radio. Come on. Yes, come on. Give her a round of applause. All right. Thank you so much for coming again. And it's right about time for us to introduce, like I said, the Polo of the Nigerian political scene right now. It's about time for us to give him the opportunity to express himself. But to do this, we are going to give nobody else than Mr. Pius Omoroga the privilege to do this. Put your hands together, come on.
Take it back. I want everybody on high to hear that. Are we ready? Yeah. I'm going to say, ANC, take it back, action. Because the Hurricane himself is here. So we're not joking. Let's do it. ANC, take it back. I don't want that one. That would do it right. We have to scream so that the mayor himself can hear that. So that Baba Niger can hear that. I don't play here in Ohio. We'll try to send it back to Daura. So we're not joking. Let's do it. ANC, take it back. Action. You ready? Let's do it again. ANC, take it back. Action. Take it back. Action. That's very nice. Thank you, Ohio. Thank you. I don't have much to say about our hurricane. Everybody already know it. I'm just gonna. I want everybody to stand up and welcome the hurricane himself to Ohio. First time in Ohio. So we gotta shake the building. So help me welcome Omoyele Sowore, ANC presidential candidate. ANC, take it back. ANC, take it back. Thank you, Columbus.
Thank you. As I would say, everyone, please. Thank you so much. Please, let me use this opportunity to thank the organizers of the events this evening for making it possible for us to spread our message of hope, of development, of resistance and revolution from Nigeria to here in Columbus, Ohio. This wouldn't have been possible without the help of Rhoda. Where is she here? Our sister. She left. And also Dr. Efedi Roselle, right? Thank you so much. I cannot do without also acknowledging some of our friends that came from out of town. Yinka here, Yinka Obasa, who's from the next city over, from here I think 2 hours away. And also Sheon Ogunsowo, who came all the way from Indiana. And today in Nigeria is the beginning of the campaigns for the presidential election that will be happening next year. And I'm supposed to be in Nigeria today to commence the campaigns that is going to lead us to the presidential villa next year in Abuja. But for some reason I decided that I would come here instead. The reason is simple. We are dealing with two old men. Yes, And if we are going to start the race, it's better to let them start first. While I play around, and when I return to Nigeria, I can always catch up with them. Yes. So as I'm here, I actually found out that the idea themselves are not ready. And they are not doing anything. They did an event today in which President Buhari's party and himself and the Vice President are launching what they call Next Level. That is their campaign slogan. But you know, Nigerians being very creative people, they did a lot of cartoons which shows President Buhari blindfolded and Nigerians following him to fall over a cliff. And they said that is the next level if you follow Babao. You are going to be led by a blind man over the cliff. The same thing they said to the candidate of the PDP, Abubakar Atiku. People said, well, if you follow him, you know what he will do. Some people drew a cartoon of everybody following him, holding on to their wallets. Yes. And these guys, you follow them, they are going to rob you. That's the reality. So I'm trying to break it down to you to understand the dilemma that Nigeria is facing today. And Nigeria, in my view, is like a country of, that was South Africa before 1994, when there was apartheid. Except that South Africa's apartheid had a white minority rule oppressing a black majority. Nigeria's apartheid is black minority rulers oppressing a black majority as well. But the difference between Nigeria and South Africa was that when South Africa ended apartheid, they did not look for a white person who was involved in apartheid to lead them. They went to look for an activist who fought against apartheid to lead them, and they looked for the person who had the best pedigree, the best reputation and integrity, and that was Nelson Mandela, and made him the president of South Africa. But in the case of Nigeria, some of our people are looking for the people who were the operators of our own local apartheid to lead us. It's like South Africans voting for Pink Botha in 1994 to lead them. That is the kind of thing we are facing. Those who are priming themselves and positioning themselves to lead Nigeria at this time were the same people who caused Nigeria the pain and suffering and sorrow that Nigeria is in today. The ones that are not directly involved are partially involved, but these two other major characters that we have in front of us, who are leading the behemoth parties, the PDP and the APC, are the people who probably when you were growing up, you heard about them. If you didn't hear about them, you probably studied them. I was saying it yesterday in Chicago that in 1979, a social studies teacher of mine taught me about a man named Audu Ogbe. He was the Minister of Agriculture to Shagari. In 2018, Audu Ogbe is still the Minister of Agriculture to Buhari. That tells you how much Nigeria did not progress between 1979 and 2018. If someone was born in 1979, how old will he be by 2019? 40 years. That is how to just mathematically or arithmetically describe the circumlocution into which Nigeria has been put in the last 40 years. 40 good years. The reason I'm saying 40 is that Audu Ogbe is likely to remain the Minister of Agriculture till next year, 2019. Because Buhari doesn't fire, or he only hires, he doesn't fire. They will remain in government. But if you're thinking about Audu Ogbe, look at Buhari, who was in power since, he was in power in 1983. In 1983, I was in class 2, secondary school, when they announced the coup Buhari took over. And he was there till about 1985. And he left. In 1992, Atiku Abubakar was the presidential aspirant of the Social Democratic Party. Right? In 1992, I was at the University of Lagos, year 1. I mean, my second year at the University of Lagos, so yeah, going to third year. So, when Buhari was president of Nigeria through a military coup in 1983, he was 42 years old. When Atiku contested as SDP presidential aspirant in 1992, he was 42 years old, according to the official records. Don't forget that Buhari's sister is 82 years old, and Buhari is 76, or 75 going to 76. Atiku is 72, according to his football age. It's not unlikely that these guys are both in their 80s. You can't rule it out. But let's assume that we're dealing with numbers that they gave to us. But what haven't they done? Atiku went on to become the vice president of Nigeria between 1990 and 1999 and 2007, if I get that correctly. Yes, 8 good years. They left Nigeria in the dust. Of course, Buhari was only president or head of state for 2 years before he was kicked out. And as I was on the radio show today, a question was thrown out at me as to what I would do about corruption or punishing people who have destroyed Nigeria. It's a very tricky question because all the time people ask me not to say what I want to do when I become the president of Nigeria. I understand it, but anybody who is in my position who doesn't know what he wants to do and can verbalize it is not ready to be president of Nigeria. That's the truth. And I said to them, the problem with Nigeria is that Nigeria has a problem with justice. Nigeria cannot bring justice to the offenders of Nigerian states and cannot bring them to justice. Otherwise, Buhari would be in prison now, awaiting maybe execution for planning a coup, which is treason. According to Nigeria's constitution, treason is punishable by death. He probably would have been killed officially by now. Atiku ought to be in prison as well for corruption. The government of the United States documented bribery collection worth over $40 million transacted through Abubakar's wife. Atiku Abubakar's wife, her name is Jennifer Douglas Atiku. They used to live in Potomac area of DC. I went there to interview him before. He lives in a mansion there. But when they realized that they were going to face justice in the US, they both ran away from the US. Never faced justice in the US and never faced justice in Nigeria. If Nigeria's justice system was working, Atiku should be, into his 10 to 10 years in jail now for a 20-year imprisonment for the massive corruption, bribery and corruption that he undertook. That's not the only thing that they did. I'm giving you this idea so that you know how terrible our situation is in Nigeria. I'm not describing to you the problems that we have. You already know all the problems. I'm not describing to you the complexity of our problems. You already know it. But I'm telling you a human angle story regarding why Nigeria cannot afford to make the mistake that is about to be made again in 2019, and the reason why I'm standing in front of you. But here is my own story. About the same time that all these guys were doing what they like, committing treason and corruption, in 1989, when I was 18 years old, I walked into the University of Lagos as a freshman. And guess who was also my roommate, and not my roommate, but hallmate and schoolmate, Yinka here, Obasa. And as we sat down there, what was Nigeria's problem? Nigeria had a military problem. The military had no intention to leave power. And I also use this to recognize a very important personality in the house, Mr. Benga Musa, who for years was a partner and a friend. He was a journalist in Nigeria and later worked with the U.S. Embassy for several years in political units. They're always talking to us about democracy and human rights. And we started fighting these characters since 1989. And between 1989 and 1999, while these guys were flourishing in crime, I was flourishing, failing out of school. I didn't actually fail, but they failed me as much as they could. They expelled me from the University of Lagos between 1989 and 1999 when I left Nigeria twice. I was beaten, detained, and tortured by the military, the police, for standing up for what is right. And today, at this juncture, Nigeria has been asked the question, between these three persons, which one would you rather choose? And we're in church today, but I'm not comparing myself to Jesus Christ. But we have a Barabbas situation on our hands, where there's a young man who did what is right for 10 years, and there are two old men who did what is wrong for their entire life. And our people are being asked to choose. And our people are saying that they want Barabbas on the left, and the other ones say they want Barabbas on the right. They don't want a leader in Nigeria that can take Nigeria to glory. They want one of the thieves. But this is not the situation with all of our people, so that I don't depress you. A lot of Nigerians, majority of Nigerians don't want these guys, contrary to what you are hearing on the internet about people who are talking about being articulated, or hyperventilated, or people who are hallucinated. It's not all Nigerians that are looking for this kind of leadership. They are not looking forward to the continuation of a Buhari presidency or the return of an Atiku presidency. They don't. They actually want a better option. They want someone who can take Nigeria and make it climb out of poverty, make it climb out of hopelessness, make it climb out of recession and depression economically and politically over these years. But the Barabbas of our country have become very, very powerful. And don't be a Pontius Pilate. That's my advice to you. Don't say at the end of the day that you are washing your hands off because you don't know what to do. Make a choice, because the choice is very clear between the young people who fought for the betterment of Nigeria, who never got rewarded for it, but got punished for it, and the old people who destroyed Nigeria, who never got punished for it, but got rewarded for doing so. Because that's the only reason why Buhari could have been a preference in 2014. But if 2014 didn't teach us any lessons and 2015 didn't teach us any lessons, these guys have had a chance to show us what they can present to us as their best. At their best, this is the Buhari, this is Nigeria of Buhari's dream. A Nigeria that all of you are afraid to go to. Yes, genuinely. Most of you are afraid to travel back to Nigeria. Those who goes do so at their own peril. With consultation with pastor, fasting, and prayer is the only reason you can go to Nigeria today and make it back in one piece, with your heart in your mouth. You don't even want to talk about your children. If any one of you had ever had a chance of taking that adventure with your children to Nigeria, you know how your words how you become worthless after you come from Nigeria with your children. When they're asking you, Daddy, is that really your country? Mommy, are you serious that we're going back to Nigeria again? But that should not be our situation. But that has been and is going to be again if we don't make conscious efforts. So I'm standing in front of you today, witness to a terrible history of Nigeria. In fact, I'm a witness to the lack of history of Nigeria. Because if Nigeria were to have history, maybe we will not have some of the problems we have now, because at least people would have been taught the evil done by these leaders to our people. But history has been expunged from our curriculum. Nobody's teaching history again. They don't even teach contemporary history. What we have left is the 140 characters on Twitter. Just barely enough to tell you what happened 5 minutes ago. Or the ever strolling news feed on Facebook that puts you in perpetual state of forgetfulness. Or the one that promotes your attention deficit disorder. Because you have so much to read and look into, you never really pay attention to much. Otherwise, perhaps my job tonight would have been easier. It would have been easier to convince you. In fact, wouldn't have been necessary for me to speak and describe who I am or what I want to do. We could have been able to tell that the difference is so clear. You could have made your decisions now. There wouldn't have been a situation where these Nigerian leaders once in a while actually come here and we wear our nicest clothes to go and greet them. I've heard when these criminals come into town, some people will even go and buy space to sit around with them. But not all of us. So that's why we are here tonight. I'm here to rub minds with some of you. It's probably not a question you will ask me that I've not been asked before. Maybe I may not have answered it the way you expect. So expect questions. But I am here hoping that you will take a stand regarding whether Nigeria should continue to be going down the drain, or we want to stop the bleeding of Nigeria once and for all, so that Nigeria as a nation state that has honestly categorically failed, if you ask me, that we can steer it back into a state that it can be back on track, because we need to change not only the drivers of Nigeria. If Nigeria were to be a vehicle, if you change the driver alone, it will not work because they've stolen the tires.
AAC! Take it back! Take it back! Action!
So, I'm here to plead with you to support this revolutionary agenda to take Nigeria back. You might have heard that from several people. Depending on who you talk to, people have different ideas as to how we can save Nigeria. Some people will tell you categorically that the only way Nigeria can be saved is to break up Nigeria into different pieces. Some will tell you that the only way to save Nigeria is to restructure Nigeria into different regions and zones. Some other people will tell you that the only way to save Nigeria is to just abandon Nigeria, let Nigeria take care of itself. And most of you have abandoned Nigeria. But you are not the only ones that have abandoned Nigeria. The people who really don't like Nigeria are the ones who are trapped inside Nigeria. If somebody went to Nigeria today and offered visas to everybody to leave, 70% of Nigerians will leave the same.
More than that.
I'm just saying, nobody, you look back and nobody will be left.
No youth.
Yes, especially young people. Because it is not their country anymore. According to the title of the book written by Professor Chinua Achebe, those is 2 books. One is that the latest one is that there was a country.
I read that.
Yes. The most important one that he wrote before is that things are falling apart in Nigeria. So Nigeria is what SUSCIBE wrote about years ago when Nigeria didn't really exist, things fall apart. And what it is today, there was a country. So in the middle of it all is you. And who are you in the middle of it? You are the people who left Nigeria, but Nigeria did not leave. Yes, so many of you no longer have anything to do with Nigeria. But I bet you, if you have WhatsApp, Nigeria is following you everywhere. And you are getting those prayers gradually that leads to demand for dough. So, what has that led to? Beside oil, the Nigerian diaspora is the biggest source of revenue to Nigeria. So whether you like it or not, whether you hate Nigeria or you don't like Nigeria, you are somehow one of the biggest funder of Nigeria. So the man I've been telling you about foreign aid to Nigeria, we did a calculation recently, and the US in 3 years only managed to give Nigeria $713 million in 3 years. The Nigerians in diaspora, as of the last quarter, had already sent $70 billion to Nigeria.
AAC, take it back! Take it back! Action!
And they come, that is the official rates. That is through Western Union, MoneyGram, World Remit, Ping Express, Boss now, everybody is helping you send money home, But the biggest source of money transfer to Nigeria is help me take it home. That's when you really send serious money, when you find somebody who you can trust to help you wrap it and take home for you. So, why don't we then think about, out of this 70 billion, is it possible that we can look back and support a process with less than that, in which if every one of you contributed $200 to our campaign, 10,000 Nigerians would have contributed $2 million. That's all we want. And we head back home the way we have been doing in the last 12 months. We have figured out how to mobilize the country. We are entering campuses, we are entering palaces, we are shaking up the place, and we are shaking the table. And people are falling off the table as we are shaking them. Yes, things are moving around. In fact, ideas that we brought in 8 months is forcing people in government to think progressively about how to run the country, even though they are pretending to do so. People are paying attention to us as we are not only discussing the future of Nigeria, but the future of the continent of Africa, or even relations between Africa and blacks as a whole. Because if we get it right in Nigeria, the black race can once again be proud. Yes.
Action!
All of this are in the document that was prepared, known as Spicer Eats. That's the acronym of the document, which is, we looked at Nigeria and said, what are the 10 most important things we need to do at this time to make Nigeria start to function as a nation state? And we looked at security, we are looking at power, I'm talking about electricity, infrastructure, fighting corruption, creating an economy that is all inclusive, that provides jobs for people, empower the citizens. We are talking about even restructuring of the country. But the restructuring we are talking about is different from the ones the old people are talking about. We differ on those. We're talking about healthcare, talking about education, agriculture, and tourism. This is what we call Spicer Hits. And the moment we brought it out, everybody is excited, and nobody has been able to fault a single of our programs to say that.
A round of applause for the idea.
Yes. That will not work for Nigeria. And it's out there. We are using them to create a new currency for politics in Nigeria. That instead of all the godfathers walking around with a chip on their shoulder, think that there's nobody, we can start challenging them, and we're challenging them. We are challenging them that, look, one, this country belongs to all of us. right? Whether we're in the diaspora at home. I have spent 19 years in the US as well. I am one of the people that came with the intention of spending 2 weeks, just like the rest of you. And I ended up spending 19 years. I see someone who said he has spent 30. I haven't even, but the Spirit is telling me that people have spent 30 years in this country. You know, it is what it is. But if I ask you what will be your next natural progression in life, home, I'm telling you, it's a paradox that while many people want to leave Nigeria, we want to go back. If we can find a home to go back to. One of my younger brothers told me last week before I came from Nigeria, I said, there's something about you guys that you're not telling when people travel abroad. It looks like you don't tell us the truth. I said, no, we don't tell you the truth because we want you to go and find out the truth for yourself. Because you think that because we're abroad, you just form a sense of entitlement at home. Send me dollars, send me this. Even those of us who don't have houses here, who don't have cars, we're sending money to people who are using them to buy houses and build them and buy their own cars. You don't know what we are going through here. So the reason we are not telling you what we are going through, we want you to go and experience the same thing. When you get there, you will find out. And by the time you get there, you can't run back. You are trapped there. So he said, but why is it that people are not writing books about their immigrant experience? No, no books. Everybody must go through the experience. You too go and bundle up in -5 degrees weather. That you have to go to work and you try to start your car and your hand is frozen on the keys. But somebody is there who is in 90 degrees weather asking you to send money every week. And when you don't send enough, they're trying to make you feel guilty. You know, as if you are the one who created the economic crisis in Nigeria. I said, all of you will find out. But most importantly, you may not need to find out if you fix our country. And if you fix the country, you'll be surprised that so many people will return home. People you have never seen before in your life. In my village, if you travel abroad in those days and you don't come back, they'll go and pose up with a babalawo to call you back.
They'll bring you back.
I said, you don't need to bring anybody back. The moment Nigeria is fixed, people will return on their own. That's the state of mind of a lot of us. In fact, a lot of people who want to go home have already acquired skills here. A lot of people want to go home, doctors or accountants or nurses, they want to even go home and serve for free. Because of the things you see on the ground and you know that these things are not as difficult as they are. But we have not found even the kind of leadership that is receptive and welcoming of ideas. But India did it. That's why Nigerians are flocking to India to get health care. They returned all their doctors from the US and parts of Europe. They returned the guys who were working in Silicon Valley. That's why if you want to build a website today, you go to India to go and build. In fact, if you contract someone to build you a website in the US, most likely you'll get the workers to do it from India. Nigeria could be the same. Nigeria could be like China. Population is no longer a cost, it's a resource. And when you have young people in particular, you even have better advantage than countries that have old people. But you need leaders, elected, empowered to lead your country in this direction. That's all we are asking for, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why we started the movement 8 months ago. We started a political party registered about 2.5 months ago. And today, beside the two behemoth political parties, without bragging about it, we are the most popular political party. And we have been breathing life into these programs and ideas. And ladies and gentlemen, we can promise you that if you support us very well, we'll go home and bring back change, revolutionary change that you will be surprised that you sat down here tonight. Maybe so many of you reluctantly came in here. Wow, that you're part of history. The history that took Nigeria from the doldrums to that level that's never been seen before. You know, I don't used to be a politician, and I still don't consider myself a politician. But how I knew I'm a politician now is that if you give me the microphone, I don't know how to drop it. So, but I know a lot of you have questions, a lot of you have contributions and suggestions and comments to make. So I don't want to monopolize the space here tonight. But as I was speaking, as we started it, I discovered that it was as if people were hanging around, more people have walked in, and the house is full and warm. So I want to thank you all for taking out time to come see us on Sunday evening. And I just wish you a better Nigeria starting from 2019 if we take the right decision.
Take it back! Action!
Put your hands together again for Mr. Omoyele Sowore. More! Alright, we have heard from the author's mouth himself, and I'm pretty sure after hearing from him, so many people are itching to ask that question. How are you going to deliver all those things that you've promised? So permit me to introduce the lady that's going to be in charge of the question and answer session. Permit me to introduce to you Miss Rhoda Apple.
Thank you everyone for coming around. This time it's going to be fundraising, and after the fundraising actually is question and answer, so be relaxed. We're still waiting for your question and answer. So it's going to go this way. We're going to give you guys numbers, then the first three answer, ask the question, he's going to answer that. But before that, I'm going to bring forward those that made this possible. The first person to introduce to you is Baba Yemi. This guy is handsome.
Hey, see? Take it back! That's for our children for tomorrow. We have to take it back. That's right.
And the other person I will introduce to you is Dr. SuSCIBE. I will introduce also Mrs. Teresa Idoja. These are my neighbors. Both of them, they complain all the time. Rhoda. I said, you people introduce me to politics. So. Then the next person I will introduce to you is Shade Okayemi. I just want to say thank you for your support, for everything that you have done to make this happen. It's never easy. I know Rhoda sometimes can be, I don't want to say it, so that you people will not look at me like that. But I just want to let you know, they are mothers, they are brothers, they are sisters who understand me well. And they've been working with me and they've been supporting. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. And I just want to use this forum to thank my sweet husband, Michael Appen. This guy has been a blessing to me. Sometimes I get home at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I just enter the house, he will never complain. If he said, I will just tell him, darling, it's about taking back. Okay, so darling, thank you so much. So right now I will introduce Dr. Rose to handle the fundraising, and after that it will be my mother again, Mrs. Idoja, to do the question and answer. Thank you.
Take it back! Let's try again.
Let's do it.
Let's try again. Take it back! It's kind of coming up there. Not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Take it back! Action! That's more like it. Faith without works is dead.
Yes.
She's gonna preach. Before I say one more word, I want to thank the man of the hour, the man of the season. People, this is a season. This is a movement. He didn't have to say any much more, but I want to thank you for being here this evening. That shows you still care, because some of us have gone nonchalant. That means you care. That's why you're here. But I always know, as an African woman, to pay respect and dues. So I want to recognize my husband, Ambassador Ifedi. Don't leave. Thank you for coming to support. When we talk about politicians, that's them. So it's good to have the bishop in the house, so he can give us some few words of advice. And I also recognize Senior Pastor Dr. Simbo Dunaya. Thank you for letting us use here. How many of you are excited? Seriously, we don't need to convince people too much. Because David had just 5 stones and took Goliath out. I don't need to convince any of you that we have prayed long enough. And this man is an answer. This man is an answer. Come on. Come on. This man is an answer. That's why we want you to reach deep into your pockets. Adiola, I understand you have some other ways of collecting money tonight.
Yeah.
Which you can tell us about.
On the floor.
On the floor. So we'd like you to help. He's already laid the vision out. He's told us what he plans to do, but he's not going to be able to do just himself alone. He needs our support. He needs our backing. Some of us are backing up with presents, but right now we need some cash, or checks, or credit cards. All right? Yes. Right, brother? We have it all. Okay, who's going to be collecting money? I want you to reach deep in your pocket. Write the check. We have a square, so you can do swiping. But we're going to do this, and then we'll take a few questions like Rhoda said. If you want to announce it, we'll be glad to announce your contribution. How's that? Is that a plan? Dr. Diako, I know you're here. Just recognizing you. Amen? Amen, yes. They are the leaders in the community. So if you'd like to come up and make a presentation of your money, please do so. And we'll just give you 30 seconds to just kind of say one word and give your money, give your presentation. We don't have to belabor this, so we can have some more interaction tonight. Yes. Sir?
Can I say something?
Please come up and say something.
Take it back. And there's also credit card.
Hello? Yes. Take it back. NAC.
Take it back.
Anyway, I didn't tell my president that I was talking today, so he's looking at him like, what is he going to say? I am Oluwaseun Ogunsonwo from Indianapolis. I traveled about 3 hours to get here. I have never been interested in politics. Never. When I was able to win the visa lottery and come here and give birth here to my children, I said, okay, I'm done. I don't know, Yoruba will understand when you buy a of Nigeria, when you hold it, for real, I did that, and put it in your pocket. That means you are not going back home again. You are not stepping in that place again. I was so frustrated. I finished from last week, chemical engineering. So frustrated. I'm not a dumbo. My friends will see me on live chat or whatever. Anybody that's doing live chat, they know me. I'm so famous. In Lasso, not just in an entity. Bantu is the name. If you are looking for Sheon, I'll be the last Sheon that you look for. So, up to now, Omoyele Sowore, it's not like we have a personal relationship, but just because I saw him on Facebook
the way he was doing it, said, this is the man. This man is bringing out the action in me. This man is telling me that Nigeria can walk again. Some people are saying, let's make Nigeria great again. Nigeria has never been great. Ever since I've been in Nigeria, I've never witnessed Nigeria being great. No, I'm sorry. So let's make it work. Okay, everybody has some. Okay, my point tonight, I don't want to take your time. My point tonight is that I know how much I spent just making sure that Nigeria works. And I am telling you that Nigeria can only work under Sowore. APC, PDP, they are the same thing. It's very easy for them to just change. Oh, APC is not working now, let's just go to PDP. PDP is not working. It's very easy for them to change. If you want to know a country that works, look at Republican and Democrat here. They don't just switch anyhow. So I'm telling you that we need to contribute. Some people will go on Facebook and talk. Nigerians speak a lot of English. I don't speak as much English as people do. Please, let's speak in the English of money. Please, donate money tonight, not too much talking. And anybody that donated the IS, don't let me bluff. People are watching me. How much have I donated before is the question, which we can check. Which we can check the record, but I'm still willing to donate more. And I will double the IS tonight. That's what I'm saying. Thank you.
I love your passion, but I'm not taking speeches, I'm taking money. I'm taking money. With my husband's support, we're going to give 500 tonight towards it. Maya has called me almost a politician, but I'm not either a politician. But I love Nigeria. I love Nigeria. And I know we are going to make a difference. Enough talking. We want the money. So please, unless you're coming up to tell me about money, don't come for the mic. We have time for question and answer. Money?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, sir. All right, sir. I'm talking. That's what I'm talking.
You're not going to take comments. You're going to take 30 seconds to say.
For money.
Keep it on time.
For money. Thank you.
For Omoyele Sowore show, you know we know each other. I'm not going to pledge here and what I will not do. I'll give you a call, and then for tonight, I'm giving you $200. I am not a member of AAC, don't get me wrong. I like his vision. We have been together since 1990. I remember when our path crossed in B001, Fagua Hall in Unilag. That was where we started. Hope 93, we were there together. And I know this man. We have our lines of disagreement.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sure.
And those are part of the things I've reacted to this evening. You can't say Nigeria is not a great country, has never been great. Nigeria did not get to #1 economy in Africa by magic.
On paper.
God has blessed us. It is only mismanagement that brought us to where we are today.
Correct.
You know the story. I'm going to tell you one thing. Why Nigeria don't have an airline today? Thank God I have the League of Airport and Aviation Correspondent chairman here. While I was a member, okay? Umazota panel, we wrote the story that Umazota panel brought out. People have destroyed this country. That is what Sahara Reporters has been doing over time. And that's why I can support his dream.
Thank you.
I like that.
Thank you.
We love the passion. Like I said, this is what we need. We need some fire in the house tonight. And I will hold the mic when you come out to give your money. Or we can announce when you touch and ready. All right, sir. Dr. John Juruka.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Omoyele Sowore. I just heard about this young man yesterday or 2 days ago, a day or two ago. And I've been very much impressed by what I heard. I will say at this point, I'm going to donate $200. And backup is on the way.
Take it back! Thank you, Dr. Hajiroka. And I'm telling you, I'll repeat something else he said. He said, all those old names, he will never vote for anybody who's been there before. I want to say tonight, we are pro-excellence. We are tired of mediocrity in Nigeria. And we are pro-excellence. That's what this man stands for. And again, we don't know too much, but we know we need change. Money, cash, credit card, any more announcements here? You can also pass your money in the plate going around. Please, come up and show your love, show your support as we move into the question and answer in a minute. A few more.
We have anonymous donation.
We have an online donation too.
Online donation of?
No, anonymous donation.
$100 anonymous. Yeah, if you don't want to give your name.
GoFundMe, we have a GoFundMe online.
We have a credit card reader, which is even faster.
Some people may not have their credit card.
Or debit.
For those of us that don't have our credit cards yet, you can go online and donate on GoFundMe at www.gofundme/SoworeRufai2019.
Okay, those who are still here, show your love. I'm going to call Sister Teresa because we do need to engage. This is not just about money. We want to engage with our next president. This is your opportunity to do so. You may not be able to reach him after today and after February. Okay, I'm going to call somebody else at the head table. Miss Grace of Apex Radio 1.
AAC.
Take it back.
Action.
Take it back.
I don't know how it's been said there, but I'm very privileged. I'm really excited. I'm not a politician, but I think I've been brought into the movement henceforth. We did a coverage. Like I said, my name is Grace Sowore from Atoxon Radio. It was a wonderful time having him in our studios. We had a great time, but I'm going to be pledging $200. Unfortunately, we went to the studio to do the coverage, but Miss Rhoda, I've worked with you, she's going to get the money, and Mrs. Ifele, you'll be getting the money. Thank you so very much. I hope you have a wonderful time.
Thank you so much for your support for the limelight. It's on Facebook. The interview is on Facebook, so you might want to take on and watch that as well. Okay. At this point, we'll take a few questions. Some of you need a little bit more talk before you write your check. I get it. You want to ask some questions and have them answered. I get it. So I'm going to call my sister to moderate a little bit of a question and answer. You ready with money? My eyes are seeing money right now. I'm all seeing green. You ready with money or you want to talk?
I did a pen and I want to say something.
Take it back. Action.
We love your Haji can write some big numbers.
Thank you, everybody. Honorable Sowore is going to be our next president.
That's right.
And what I'm trying to say at this point, it's not necessary to bring $1,000. Even if it's $1, it's going to help. And that is the movement. And after that, there are some other points or agenda that need to be done, which I will tell the Honorable President who is going on in 2019, and I will let you know before you leave tonight. I'm going to tell you. Right now, I am going to donate $100 and I'll write the check.
Thank you, Amajima. God bless you. Good point. Any amount is helpful. So, okay. A few questions and answers, please. Money. I'll take a few more dollars before we go to this.
Let's give another 10 minutes.
Thank you. So on behalf of myself and my family, we're going to donate $100.
Thank you, sir. That's the movement. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's the spirit of Columbus. The heart of it all.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't want to call your name, but just be getting your checks ready. My sisters and brothers in the house, I'm giving you the eye. Come on, let's do a few questions and answers as they write their checks. Okay, this is a measure.
Well, my sister, Dr. Rose, you're doing an awesome job. So, I mean, just continue. But amidst, as you write your check generously to His Excellency, we would like to take a few questions. I know some of you have questions burning in your heart that he may not have spoken to in his speech. So we're going to take numbers. Mr. Shipong, you're number 1, Brother Bunker number 2, Brother number 3. We'll take 3 for now. 4. Well, because it's on the high chair. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Well, no, we're going to have more questions. Just in between fundraising, we'll have a question. So, Mr. Shipong, I don't know if this is going to get there, but if you will come over here, please. How many drinks? You can use this one so he can have that one.
Hello. First of all, I just want to thank you for coming. And I must say that it took rather several conversations to convince me about you, because I have my own political affiliation back in Nigeria, but it doesn't matter right now. I'm speaking as someone from the north central part of Nigeria, specifically from Plateau State. And all of us are aware of what is going on, especially in Jos Plateau State, with the issue of the local indigenous of Plateau and the Fulani herdsmen. So my question to you is this. What are some of the specific policies you're going to put in place in terms of dealing with this issue of Hausa Fulani herdsmen versus the people of Plateau State? Thank you.
Thank you. Number 2.
Number 2.
You want to take it one at a time?
No, let me take all of it.
Okay, so, I'm here with you, come on.
And you're number 3.
It's number 2 here.
No, this is number 2.
This is number 2, number 2, number 2.
Please.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, 3.
One question.
Recently, I've been paying attention.
One out.
Hello. Recently, I've been paying a lot of attention to Nigerian media. Also to a lot of my colleagues back home. And I must tell you, a lot of them just their jobs. That's by the way. What I want to ask is this. Nigeria owes so much right now. According to IMF projection, we're owing about $73 billion. As of 2015, which is about 3.5, 4 years ago, around May 2015, so 3.5 years ago, Nigeria is owing $33 billion. According to International Monetary Fund, we're owing $73 billion right now. Now, this generation of Buhari and their calculus, their class, 1960 class, that ruling class are still ruling Nigeria, their time will go, they will pass. But my generation will be suffering the consequence, which means we have to pay the debt. We have to shoulder all the burden, which means a lot of things have to get more expensive in order for Nigerians to survive, and we're already seeing that right now.
inflation is the highest order of the day. You see, we send money to Nigeria and it's nothing. When I came into this country, the naira to dollar was exchanging for about $100. We're talking about 350 naira right now, sorry. So my question is, how do we address these anomalies, the manipulation of our currency, and also paying off, taking care of the debt ceiling that we keep raising?
Thank you so much. Number 3, let's go.
Yeah, and please keep your questions to 30 seconds. Sure.
Sowore, first of all, I want to commend your efforts because this is a new beginning for Nigeria. People complain about Nigeria a lot, and I kept on saying that I won't be part of the group that we keep complaining because we are all part of it. We are all part of it because we didn't take action. I remember in July, just this last summer, chairman of your party, Malcolm Fabi, met me in Toronto. I was at a forum in Toronto, and he told me the idea of you. And I said it straight with Tom Williams. You happen to know some of my friends. I've met you several times as a journalist in Nigeria, but we have not met one-on-one. Tom Williams in New York, my Monday, Benga Mushon, who is also an activist in Lagos. And I said, Sowore cannot be Nigerian president. Malcolm X was like, what do you mean? You know, I said, what is the political structure on ground that your party, the ACA, I said, it's a good thing that somebody as a youth came out to take Nigeria back, which is your slogan. I said, but what is, and I want you to answer this today, what is the political structure in ground? Because we all know that Nigeria politics has been monetized. It is cash and carry. I mean, we can't be blind to it. This is not Arab Spring. Arab Spring, everybody was, I mean, the system was working. And people are comfortable to some extent, but they fought against some policies. But my question is, what is the political structure that you guys want to, because that was one of the things that messed up the.
Thank you so much. We're going to give Mr. Sowore the microphone so he can answer our question. I'm thinking with it. Okay, let's take one more question. I'm going to pass this microphone to you, sir.
We'll do another round.
Yes. Yeah, then we'll do another round. Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Sowore, I'd like to welcome you to Columbus and to thank you for the opportunity of being here. You're really a blessing. In my book, you have an A+.
That's right.
I first heard about you 2 days ago, to be frank, at the ACF. And what I told my colleagues is that I personally would never put my support behind any big name candidate in Nigeria. We do have a problem in Nigeria. Everybody knows about all kinds of problems. One of them is leadership problem. But guess what is bigger than the leadership problem we have in Nigeria? Followership. Followership is the biggest problem. It's not the leadership. It's not our leaders. It's we. That means me. That means you, each one of you. Mr. Sowore alluded to it earlier on. He said, remember during the crucifixion of Jesus, they brought in a convicted felon, a robber. And the people, the Pontius Pilate wanted them to choose between that man and Jesus. Who do I release to you? They said, release Barabbas to us, not Jesus. Crucify Jesus. I put it to you today. If you bring a straight, honest human being, he is uncorrupted. He does everything well. He is accomplished. He does everything well. Bring him on the one hand, and you bring somebody who is corrupt, who dishes out money. who everybody knows is a corrupt individual, guess what people are going to vote for? A corrupt person. That is the state of affairs in Nigeria. Let us face it.
My apologies, sir.
Yes, sorry. So the question is, I do have faith. I've never met him I don't know him enough. But in my spirit, I have confidence in his abilities and confidence that he's going to do what he has said he was going to do. But my question is, in order to move past to the position, to be in a position where you can do these things, how are you going to, what's your plan to move over the hump, over the obstacle of overcoming this recognition, the big name people that we do have in Nigeria?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So we're going to hand over the microphone to Omoyele Sowore himself to answer our questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The question about the North Central, very solid question, and I will answer it this way. The Hausa Fulani Plateau problem is like every other problem in Nigeria that started as a crime. You know, over control of resources, land, and tough. But something happens in between. The person who is the aggressor finds out that the president of Nigeria is his brother the next day. And he draws inspiration, he draws support, either direct or indirect from them. And then suddenly he becomes an untouchable. And then the problem becomes unsolvable. That is what has happened in that particular area. I went to a refugee camp. I won't call it internally displaced camp, it's a refugee camp on my way to Benue about 2 months ago. And the people in the refugee camp were saying that the villages from which they were displaced have been renamed after the people who displaced them. And the federal government of Nigeria, led by Alhaji Buhari, is not doing anything about it. Instead, they are planning to set up another committee. And you know what committees do in Nigeria? If you want to cover up a situation, set up a committee for it. Then you set up another committee to look into the work of the other committee. And then you set up another committee to write a paper about it. And another committee to commission the paper. You know, that's how to solve the problem. That's how they solve the problem in Nigeria. As the president of Nigeria next year, first I will be impartial. And security agencies will be allowed to do their work. That is to say, the movement of arms and ammunition that is afforded and accorded certain special categories of people will no longer happen in Nigeria. And anybody found to have committed any crime will be tried. Why would you look at it and say none of the aggressors or people who are seen even in videos have ever been arrested? Or in cases where they are arrested, they are released almost the next day or prosecuted. It is because there is some kind of bias for them. It is not to say that even on the other side, there has not been crime, okay, so that we are very clear about it. But the way to solve it is to go in there and make sure that everybody who has committed a crime or who is engaging in crime is flushed out of the area. And not to give the excuse that the people who are killing in the plateau are from the Niger Republic. I mean, how do people walk with AK-47 from the Niger Republic to plateau and nobody stops them on the way? Right? What happened to our customs? What happened to our special task forces? I'm just giving you this breakdown because we know the solution to the problem, quite honestly. But we don't have the people who can solve the problem. If you want the blood to keep flowing in the plateau, you haven't seen anything yet until Buhari comes back next year. That's true. You know, that is how truthful it is. Because they are the ones who select the generals who are sent in to go and intervene. They know who to choose, who will not stop the problem. There have been instances including interviews granted by even the governor of the state, that they have found people who are directly in the security services who are arming these aggressors against the people in the plateau and displacing them. And the government hasn't done anything about it. The only time they do anything about it is when the elections are coming in that area, and they'll call their dogs into a ceasefire. But the moment you have a Nigerian leader who is pan-Nigeria, who is not nepotistic, tribalistic, or blind to crime, you will find out that there will be peace in that. The same thing applies to Boko Haram. Do you know why I'm saying this? It happened in Niger Delta region before. The Niger Delta militants I heard about, so many of them, we knew them because that's where I come from. They were getting their weapons from the Nigerian army. I did a story about it on Sahara Reporters, and nobody disputed the story till today. So any crime you see, any terroristic activity that happens for a long time in Nigeria has official imprimatur involved in it. You have people at the top supporting these criminal activities. And the moment you shut them out of the way, you'll be surprised how quickly 50% of the problem will be solved. And the rest of the 50% will of course have something to do with leadership and being firm and assertive in curbing the excesses and bringing to trial and to justice people who are involved in this genocide that we're talking about. Last thing I will say is that whenever there's genocide in Nigeria, we must call it its right name and not try to hide or try to paper over it, you know. And that is what also hasn't happened in the plateau. When they commit genocide, you say, oh, you know, it's fight between two communities. It's not. It's organized genocide. And the moment we don't give it that name, we'll be able to solve the problem. I'm speaking to you as someone who has actually traveled in a place recently. We traveled past the place on the road from Nasarawa to Benue recently. Was it, you know, the Makoti, and we still found splatters of blood on the ground. They just killed 20 people there. Frequently, these people you mentioned will come out of the bush onto the highway and just shoot people. They are still doing it. But you wonder, what is the place for little technology like drones to monitor their movements? Why can Nigeria security agencies use simple technology that police will take for granted here? Things that you can even buy on Amazon sometimes. They will never do it because Nigeria don't have leaders who even understand the place for this kind of tools and technology in fighting crime. So, you know what I say to people all the time when I answer these questions, I don't take too long. I don't want to expose all my strategies, otherwise they will steal it. They have no shame. The question about indebtedness of Nigeria. You see, honestly, debt is not a bad thing if your country is producing. America is the biggest debtor in the world. In fact, they had the debt counter in New York. It moves faster than your watch, you know. They are owing every damn minute. In fact, all of you that are sitting down here, you are debtors in America. You either own college loans, your credit card that you're carrying. You know, it's for a reason. But in Nigeria's own situation, we are not borrowing to finance production. We are borrowing to finance greed. And that is our biggest problem. The moment we borrow, the money is transferred from the state to private individuals who use it to do whatever they want. You cannot believe that 150 Nigerians are owing 5.3 trillion naira. These are monies they borrow from banks, and the Nigerian government took them over as toxic loans through AMCON. AMCON is the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. 150 Nigerians are doing, but you know what? They bought jets with it, they built mansions with it. Nigeria never collected the mansions from them. They will go and value a small house somewhere. In fact, one of the people owning Nigeria went and used a bridge in his village to use it as a collateral in a bridge owned by Nigerian government. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is a crime scene. I'm serious. And until you bring a forensic president in the place, yes. Who's not afraid to step on toes. We will not be able to pay back our debts, but the moment you put the country of Nigeria into a productive state, we will pay back our debts and we will be able to have debts that help us to even make our countries function better. That's why I said, debt is not a bad thing depending on what you do with it. So we'll pay back, no question. But for me, it's also philosophical. The question is that the people who we are owing are also owing us. All this, yes, is to look at the balance of what you are taking from us and what we took from you. And we can. This might sound a little bit funny to you, but so many of these debts you are seeing, they were also given in bad faith. You cannot imagine somebody going out there and giving loans to people like Babangida. You know he's going to steal it. You are supposed to be responsible also. When you want to borrow money here, they look at your credit history. They look at your ability to pay back. You cannot just give a credit card to a convicted thief and expect that he will be paying you back every month. No. They will ask you all these questions here. So these people that have been giving out debts, we have to also look at, giving out loans to us, we have to look at their motive. Particularly China, for example. Every time they talk about Nigeria is looking for Euro bonds and is oversubscribed, I laugh at them. People don't understand the reason why Nigeria's Euro bond is oversubscribed. It's because of the interest rates. When America wants to borrow money from China, the interest rate is as low as 2%, sometimes it's 1%. When Nigeria wants to borrow money from China, the interest rate is 27%. How are you going to pay back the loan? That's why China may own a lot of African countries pretty soon. They have already started by taking over airports. Before you know it, they will own your cooking pot. No, it's true. And so many of these idiotic leaders don't even look at the fine prints that they signed on to. They don't read the agreement of the loans. What do you expect also? Somebody who doesn't have a WAEC certificate, how can he read Chinese loan agreement? So it's very complicated though, but it's also the reason why we should be alarmed enough not to return any of these guys into a position of authority in our country. Number 4 question, you asked about political structure. We started a movement 8 months ago. Started as a registered political party about 2.5 months ago. As of today, let me put it this way. Of all the political parties in Nigeria, only the PDP, through articles, Bureau de Change Convention in Port Harcourt, and the one of the APC in Abuja, had any open convention that had as many people attend as our own. We had our convention in Lagos was attended by over 3,000 people in Lagos.
Thank you, man.
And we did not cook rice. We didn't bring biscuits for anybody. No Ankara was shared. And people stayed until the end of the convention, until the point where we had to leave the hall because the hall was also rented. After we left, at a point, there was a cutoff point. So we have structures in 36 states, we have structures in most of the local governments. We have candidates, about 7 senatorial candidates in 2 months as a political party. We have 10 governorship candidates across Nigeria. I think we have about 25 or 27 House of Rep candidates. We have over 117, I think it's over 124 House of Assembly candidates across Nigeria. In 2.5 months, structures are all over the place. We have structures at home and we have structures in the diaspora. We have structures on earth and in heaven. You know why I said it? I went to Australia. I don't think heaven is further than Australia.
Take it back.
There's no political party in Nigeria that I can tell you they have membership in all these places. But to address the issue of structure that you addressed partially, which is the monetization and the commoditization of politics, we don't have those kind of structures, but we cannot call those ones structures. Any retail outlet for intimidation and buying of votes, they are not legitimate political structures. And we should not be glorifying them by calling them structures.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. The PDP don't have structures. The APC don't have structures. They just have bodegas where they sell and buy votes. We can't call those things structures. We have legitimate organic structures all over Nigeria today. But you know what? We need support to keep them running. The truth is that if we want to play the money game, we will not even be in the race today. But if any one of you read Vanguard newspaper today, they said a poll was conducted, even though they rigged some of these polls. But somehow we came out as number 3rd, behind Buhari and Atiku. But we know that we will beat them. We are number 1. It's just a matter of time.
Take it back.
And somebody said that the Nigerian situation is not like the Arab Spring. But I can assure you that it might become the Harmattan, because the Harmattan season is coming. Something like that could happen. Final question is, Doc here asked me, how do you move over these obstacles that have been described as structure, money, and thuggery, and assassinations when they get desperate? It is going to be done by political will. And the political will you are seeing is your will today, and the will of people who are dipping hands into their pockets out of faith, contributing perhaps money you don't have, to say to us, go do the best you can to take this country out of the woods. We will surmount the obstacle, not because the obstacle is big, but because we have done it before, sir. I was a young person when Nigeria's problem was military rule in the university. Nobody believed that the military could be disgraced out of power, but we did it. By 1999, Nigeria returned to democracy because of efforts of young people like myself and some, older persons like Wole Soyinka, Gani Fawemi, Femi Falana, Chima Obani, across the country who kept fighting consistently. There is nobody who can assure you that an obstacle will be upstaged overnight. No. But the beginning of ending any political obstacle is to confront it. Amen. That's it. Amen. And we are determined to confront it until we reduce it to rubbish.
A round of applause for Omoyele Sowore. We are going to take 3 more questions. So, you want to take money? Yes. All right, go ahead and take the money.
Amen. My husband is probably shaking his head. What happened to this woman? Really, he's the politician, but he's going like, what's going on with her? Seriously, a pastor said this to me one day. Anytime I enter somewhere and you're there, I get scared. Because I know something is up. Something is up. We are not here because we have nothing else to do. We're here because we believe there's hope that something will change in Nigeria. And I want to put this out to you. Why him? Because we've heard some of these stories. People come and promise things. Who isn't familiar with Sahara reporters? Anybody? You better not raise your hand. Exactly. The courage it took when everybody told him it couldn't be done, you couldn't go against the establishment, you couldn't write things against them. It's the same power that is behind him right now. So in the right place. put your money to this. So next time you're talking about Nigeria, you can say, I was part of this movement. So I'm back to take money and cash. The checks can be written to take it back. So take it back. I need some announcements for money. Anybody ready to give? Yes, please. Your name and the amount. Give them a round of applause. Those sitting on the high table, I'll be coming after you soon.
I greet everyone. Our president will be in Nigeria. My name is Sheikh Otumba. Being one is National Youth President of Nigeria. The former. My name is Chief Otumba Mohammed Usman. I just new here in Columbus, and based on the donation, there's no way we have to contribute for good things. Yes. That's why I will donate $50. Wow. I have something to say. Being a youth, I have something to contribute to my people, especially those in Nigeria. The power in the hand of the youth. And we know the importance of the youth. For us to see a youth come out and to become the president of Nigeria, take kudos. We have to give kudos to someone. I'm not a politician, I'm an activist, but I find myself as a politician, being the youth president of the land. And it's not a small thing to be a youth president. And it's not a small thing to become the president of the Republic of Nigeria. I urge all my people, especially those that are in Nigeria, they should come out and vote for youth. Let's leave the old people alone. We have been in this again for a long time ago. When I moved all my children out of Nigeria because of what I'm facing personally. So please, just to contribute, please for support. You know, people will be coming out speaking English, grammar, that's not taking us to anywhere. What we need, let God respect the space. Let our people vote. How much? $50.
He's going to be contributing $50 to this movement. Do we have anybody right now? Mr. Family Shadia, come on stage. Are you contributing?
It's not in time for questions.
No, we're not going to ask a question. We need people to contribute right now. That's it. I'm going to give you the mic.
Okay. $100 for you. I'll be coming to you in a minute, so just get your check ready. Just tell us the amount.
My contribution is to you.
Okay.
I'll say a couple of things.
My passport.
If members of CICC are here, get your passport ready. Or you put your money because we are going to Australia. That's where heaven is. Our presidential candidate here. Let me tell you this. I had my reservations. I won't tell you lies. And I think I told some of the organizers my reservations. But you have made efforts to answer some of my questions tonight. And the dilemma I have is this. You cannot be complaining about Nigeria and then you see a good effort being made. No matter the reservation that you have no more to talk again if you don't support them. Absolutely. That's why Yoruba say, if you are hearing big, 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 and you don't carry it with them, they will dump it at the back of your house. So having said that, I will contribute. But I'm a pastor, I cannot tell you how much.
My apologies, sir. We're going to have to skip this part. I'm so sorry.
All right, thank you so much. So we're going to take Do we have anybody that wants to donate right there? Okay, sir. Donations.
Okay.
Questions or donations? We're going to take donations first before questions. Okay, let's keep up to the question. And now we're going to take Mr. Femi Oshadia first. Question. Yes. Osabia. Thank you so much, my brother, for putting that, straight.
Thank you for some assaulting my I appreciate that.
My bad.
Mr. Sowore, two things. One, like I said when we were doing the radio interview, I don't know you from Adams, but I've been following Sahara program like doing my business. And I listened a lot to what you said, on and on with Dr. Damages and everybody. You've been there. I don't want to say this, but I don't care whatever that happens. You know what? You've already distorted the revolution in Nigeria within those people. So I've already pledged my support to you, and it's not going to stop. You talked about we can also do some material things to Nigeria and all that. I've already talked to one of my guys back home. He's a very good designer with t-shirt, and we're going to contribute to that too. I don't know what it's going to be, but at least I've been thinking within 1,000 of that shirt to the progress. Now, to my question. You are one in a million. They have tried to distort those people in power for so long. They have been powering Nigeria since independence. I'm almost 44 years old. We've been saying up never when I was born, and they're still saying it up to today. Now, you came into the whole arena to distort this whole movement. Are you concerned about your security? When you go to bed and lay down your head, are you concerned about your security? That's my first question. And my second question is this. What are you going to do to make sure you secure, once you become the president, what are you going to do to make sure you put Nigeria in the map? Make sure everybody can go back home safe and good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to take one more question. We're actually going to take 3 questions and he's going to answer. So we are going to, I'm going to Femi right now. He's the next man.
Thank you, Mr. Ewa. As part of political way, please use your revolution. Call your family and friends back home in the area. Tell them about this movement. Tell them about this revolution. And tell them, orientate them who to vote for. The dollar that you have been sending back home, let it work for you this time around. President, my question is this. For any nation to grow, the electricity is very, very important. How will you be able to tackle the issue of electricity affecting Nigeria as a corporation?
Thank you so much. And after this, we need to take more money. You know, one of the reasons why easier is to be able to raise funds, to be able to make these dreams a reality. And we need to make that happen. We need to contribute our quota, to that dream. So, yes, I'm going to take one more person, and I'm going to call on Dooney, and from there, we're going to take more funds, okay?
I was in Unilag, and I was there the very day in front of NEO when they injected I was there. So I don't have what you did in Unilag then with the cultists. I know you have a wheel, you have the drag. I don't have any doubts. I even called my cousin Bumi. I said, but I believe in you. But the issue is, I have been following you. You've traveled everywhere. Nobody, no president has ever done that in Nigeria. That's right. You could see the stress in his face. is that we need to go door to door.
Thank you.
Yesterday I was watching, and the reporters were, they were interviewing people. We got to give you feedback. We've got to give you feedback, and that is what is going to help this movement.
Yeah.
This is a wave. It's not question. Please, we need to knock door to door like they were doing in Georgia. In Nigeria, we tell our people. Yeah. Because when they interview people, they say they don't know you. That's what I'm saying.
What's your question? You have no question. All right, thank you so much. What we're going to do is we need to make our questions as snappy as possible because we have a whole lot of people that have so many things to say, So, but right now, before we take the questions, now we're going to go back to the money man.
People. Yes, sir. Hello. Hi. Can we keep it down?
Please, you can have the mic.
We Africans, we can talk. I started off with faith without action. Please, anything you give tonight, you can go home and sleep well, that you did the right thing. So if you haven't given tonight, I'm not going to curse you, I'm not going to pray for you. Give something tonight before you leave. Adiola, you want to move around and collect the money as I'm talking? Any amount is enough. Give something. You will feel better living here tonight having given something. You will feel better having given something. I want to make another plea to you. You have family members in Nigeria? Hello? Hi. We're collecting money, no more noise.
Some people are running out.
They're running. Close the door. Close the door. We are giving this to a good cause, so please give something before you leave tonight.
Please give us.
Again, we don't want pledges. Write your check, swipe it, and give something before you leave. I was making a plea. Contact people in other states in the US. Contact people at home. We're talking about structure and grassroots. That's part of it. We need their votes. We need their votes. So if you get excited, they will get excited as well. If anybody wants to announce their donation, I'm more than willing to do that for them.
If we are complaining about article, I'm not going to mention names. If we are complaining about some political parties buying votes, they are doing so because they have funds. He's not trying to buy votes, but for us to be able to organize an election in Nigeria, for us to be able to mobilize our people in Nigeria, we need funds. Okay, AAC needs to be able to put in place a structure, just like every one of us agreed. We need a structure. We have 773 local governments in Nigeria. We have 36 states. So for AAC to make a meaningful impact in this election, we need 773 AAC local government, AAC chairman, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
We need 36 AAC state chairman in our states. We need senatorial not just candidates. See, when you look at PDP, PDP and APC, they have a structure. That structure is all about people, the right people in charge, to be able to champion their cause. AAC needs to do the same. We need grassroots, we need to be involved in our grassroots. And you cannot do this by just talking over here in the USA. we need to do this. So basically, funds is so important in all these things. So that's one of the reasons why he's agitating for this fund. So whatever you have, of course, donate. And we're going to move on to our next questions. I understand that you are thinking that, oh, how does he plan to do all these things?
Question.
Okay, then we're going to take more questions.
People are waiting to ask.
Oh, we already asked questions. You broke my flow right there. That's it.
Yeah.
We're going to punish you.
Yeah.
So again, a goal is in front of you. We're walking around. Give something. If you think about it, it takes money to travel. It takes money to get to all of us to give us this opportunity to hear him. And I know people are still coming. We're going tonight. People are still texting. They're coming. So please, as he begins to answer, we're going around and taking your money as well. Please do a supporting thing tonight.
Thank you. Let me say a few things before I answer your questions. And these things have to do with the fact that this is not our first time answering to a call. It just turns out that this is probably the closest call, to home. When Obama was running in this country, the people who are non-U.S. indigents, or well, I won't say citizens, but people who came, the diaspora community that contributed the most were Nigerians. But in fact, not only did we contribute in Nigeria, they raised 2 billion naira for Obama that didn't get to Obama. Yes. They had Ankara that they called Obama Ankara. Yes, with Obama's speech. We took it, we put it on our head as we say it at home. So this is our first, and this is about Nigeria but not about America. Second is to let you know that you can also make donations on GoFundMe. It's gofundme.com/SoworeRufai2019. We've raised almost $97,000 on GoFundMe so far, and this is something that Nigerians have been doing consistently. Some people have made over $2,000 donations since we started. They keep coming back and donating more. My friend also who left, Yinka Obasa, didn't want me to announce this, so I can't keep it to myself. He's going to donate $1,000 by January. He just left to go back to his city. What's the next city over from here? Not Indiana, I mean it's also in Cleveland, yes, he came from Cleveland. So, because I don't live in the US anymore, I don't know US cities anymore. So we went back to Cleveland. And we also have a local account in Nigeria, Zenith Bank account 100-602-3871. 100-602-3871. In case you have a local account in Nigeria and you have naira hanging out there that you can use to contribute. What we are doing is something that has never been done before. And one of it is Nigeria is used to taking from politicians. We are making Nigerians give for a political cause. And it's exciting a lot of people. In fact, the bulk of the naira donations we are getting are from people who have 1,000 naira, 500 naira here and there. And they are excited to give the money the moment they heard our message. And when you look at the people who are making these donations, you will know that when you hear about ethnic division, it was created by our leaders to perpetuate their wickedness in the country. When you hear about religious division, they do it on purpose to perpetuate the evil against our people. Our people don't care about ethnicity, they don't care about religion, they just want a better life. Yes. That's all they want. They want a fantastic life, they want to be able to live in Sokoto, live in Cross River, in Calabar, they want to live in Lagos. Wherever it suits them is where they want to live. But Nigerian leaders have deliberately put a wedge between these people because that is what makes things happen for them. I'll go back to the questions about concern for security. This is a question this is one of my FAQs, frequently asked questions. But my answer is simple. Who in Nigeria is safe? No one. Nobody. So you are concerned about my security. What about the security of your father you left behind? Of your brother that you left behind? Of your sister who is there? Nobody is safe in Nigeria. You don't have to contest for office to be unsafe in Nigeria. It might be something as simple as just traveling on the road. A trailer will come and clear your vehicle and any vehicle around it. It might be just kidnappers. Kidnapping has become such a terrible business in Nigeria. People are kidnapping for recharge cards. They will kidnap you and say, if you send us recharge card, we'll release your mother. That's how bad it is. You know, I'm not exaggerating. You need to be in Nigeria. But the sad thing about Nigeria is that Nigerians have become numb. I have to tell you this. A lot of Nigerians have become numb to bad news. If someone dies in Nigeria, people just walk over the person. Yes, and move on with their lives. And it's part of the problem that is emboldening the bad leadership in the country. They know that no matter how bad you are, you will find somebody who will praise you for it. Nigerians know that Atiku is a thief. Of course. They know. They know that the money he's going to use for this election is the money he stole from them. They know that Buhari is lifeless. They didn't need Donald Trump to tell them that Buhari is lifeless. But they have become numb to whomever. They just say, look, whichever one wins, Nigeria will still be Nigeria, Gary. And the culture of instant gratification has destroyed our people. They want to collect their reward on earth. Nobody is planning to go to heaven in Nigeria to get reward, not even our pastors. I'm not talking about the ones here. Because if you look at it, the prayer points of people who are in Nigeria, they are different from the prayer points of the people who are in the US. Because while you are in Nigeria, you are praying for NEPA to bring lights. When you come to America, you are praying to pay your bills, like your light bills. You know the prayer points are different. So you are wondering if you are serving the same God. Those are the kind of situations that the dignity of the Nigerian person has been decimated. And they know that the more they pound your dignity, the less you have self-esteem. And if you don't have self-esteem, you cannot make correct political choices. Because you're always presented between who is the worst of the two candidates. And that's why you hear in Nigeria people say, well, the angel I know, the devil I know is better than the angel you don't know. Meanwhile, they're surrounded by angels, but they prefer the devil. It's the thing you are hearing when they say, oh, we don't know Sowore. No, they are not saying that they don't know Sowore. If you deep deeper into it, if you dig deeper into it, they know, but they are saying that Sowore doesn't have money to give. That's what they are telling you. No, we don't know this is your candidate too. Call the person back and say, where's the candidate I introduced to you last week? He said that AAC person. We don't know him. But I introduced him to you last week. You still don't know him? But the other people just came and passed here now. Atiku people. We know Atiku. You ask them, how do you know Atiku? It has to do with transaction. That you don't, because Atiku has gone to see him. See the Nigerian people. That's the message you are hearing from them. Otherwise, even in the interviews that somebody had been referring to, those interviews, they said it. Yeah, we know the boy now. They know Sahara reporters. They know the guy who was with Abiola in 1993. They know the name, but they are saying that I have not come the way by way of recognition. And recognition in Nigeria is highly monetized. So I'm just saying that to you so that when you are calling people at home, you understand what they mean when they say they don't know somebody. Yes. It's that the person has not come to see them. That's the sad news. Electricity. How do we intend to tackle electricity? Nigeria has miserable 3,000 megawatts of electricity supply for 200 million people. See, let me break it down to you. That is not enough to service some university campus here in Ohio, or some companies or transportation hubs. 3,000 megawatts is not enough. If you want to find out, I don't want to complicate it, but just Google how many megawatts of electricity is consumed in the US a day. Just Google it. You will know that we are jokers in Nigeria. But we need, and we can have progressively within 2 years, over 24,000 megawatts of electricity. And that can guarantee 24-hour electricity for most of Nigeria. And that's where we need as a starting point. How do we need an energy mix. Solar is an energy source that we can easily use. Northern Nigeria has sunshine from morning to night the next morning. Just create solar farms. You'll be selling electricity to your neighboring countries. We have 9 billion cubic storage of gas in Ogoni land alone. 9 billion. That can power the whole of West Africa or the whole of Africa if we tap it. But we need to clean up Ogoni land. They even still have coal in Enugu. Right? We have hydroelectric sources. But the problem with it is that you give these people a chance to go and do it, they will not grow the electrical grid in Nigeria. The person who is selling generator can never give you electricity. It's as simple as that. It's not possible. You are asking a person who is running a private university to give you public education. You are wasting your time. You are asking a person who is bottling water to give you public water. You are wasting your time. His own understanding of providing water is to sell it. Atiku is the biggest source supplier of bottled water. They call it Faro water in Adamawa State. It's university, ABTU or APTI. Nobody who is earning less than 5 million naira can send their children to the school. So you have to be a civil servant who is stealing actively to be able to sign up. Before you can send your kids to the school, and you're expecting him to come and fix public university for you, you're wasting your time. If Atiku becomes the president of Nigeria, you put Nigeria on eBay. That's the truth. So, but the electricity problem can be solved. You see, what is annoying to me is that there's plenty of modern technology these days that can resolve a lot of Nigerian problems. But again, as I usually say, you cannot have analog brain leaders trying to fix a digital society. It's not possible. Their brain work backwards. Our own is working frontward. Take it back. Duni, thank you so much. It's great to see you after that many years for the University of Lagos. I agree with you that we need door-to-door campaign. But we also need you to do what we call door-to-door phone calls. Yes. Send messages. Let me give you a strategy that you don't know. You're on WhatsApp, right? Every day someone forwards a prayer to you in Nigeria. Yes. Nigerians are the biggest prayers in the world. You also send back your own message to them every morning. Each time you get the message, send back your own message back to them. These are candidates and vote for him so that you'll be sending me less prayers. Because so many of the prayers that you get, God has already answered them by putting resources in Nigeria. But our people refuse to get off their knees after their prayers have been answered. So, please, do your own part. Truth is that the people at home respect our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. When you call them, they respect you, they believe in what you're saying to them, and you tell them, look, we can solve this problem by voting for the right guy. So it's a family meeting that you need to have over the telephone with your family members, over WhatsApp, over Facebook. Another strategy on Facebook that those of you who don't know should not ignore. If you're on Facebook, bad people will never leave your timeline. They will write 20 comments. But good people never say anything. They will be liking and reacting. In fact, instead of a good person to write something that is good, they will call you and say, Sister Donnie, sorry, I saw something they wrote on your timeline. Don't react to them, because I would have reacted, but I don't want anybody to insult me. But the bad people, they have no shame. They'll be there, they write 520 comments. Before you know it, the dominant commentary comes from the bad people. Because the good people don't want to be insulted. So, get back to the mode of expressing yourself positively. If somebody says article and he gets 20 responses that say, never in your life should you come and put article on my timeline, he won't do it tomorrow again. If somebody says Buhari and we all push back, it becomes a dominant position that people no longer take these things as a joke anymore. And before you know it, they will start packing up. Don't think that social media is not going to work. Social media is part of the solution to the problem. It has come to stay. In fact, this election is a social media election. So anywhere you can make your opinion known, anywhere you can get your position stated, please don't forget to do so. Thank you.
I know His Excellency is getting tired.
I don't get tired. I don't know if you guys are tired.
But I know something. I know something that will help revive. Wait, cool down. Cool down. I hear some sound of foreign currencies in the house. See, I told you you'll be smiling after that. We're in the US, we can take dollars. But if you're in Europe, you can take So that is to open up the floor to any kind of foreign currency right now. So it doesn't have to be in dollars.
Foreign currency is naira.
You don't wait now. So any foreign currency donations available?
And initially, I was so excited when the youth came up. You know, Spelato, Toye, Kingsley, more than you. But I got disenchanted at the point when all of you sort of went your way. But I was thinking that with that kind of coalition, you should be able to fight the hegemony of this cabal at the top. But then, I've now listened to so many interviews with them, and the reasons why they separated themselves. But this was clear. Having said that, my wife lives in America. I live in Nigeria. I don't have currency in the US, but I'll give you 150,000.
refreshments. I heard a few people say they weren't really sure this was a fundraiser, so they may not have money. I'm a very credible person. On that note, Adiola, I know we don't do pledges typically, but for tonight, sir, I am willing to take pledges because I'll come for it. I'll collect it. So if you have a pledge, talk to us and we'll take care of that. Also, the GoFundMe is available. So that's another way to give. I thank all of you who have given tonight, seriously. And it doesn't stop. We'll keep giving because we're moving towards the presidency, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any more money coming before
Yes,
we
sir. We are
take a
not-
little break with questions? Yes, sir? Money?
Okay, just to let you know, I went on it. Does anybody remember what I said when I went on it?
Yes.
Double. Hey, round of applause for me too, man.
What was the highest donation? It was like 500.
So pledges are welcome, please.
All right, thank you so much for we do not have time to waste, and we're going to take more questions. And thank you so much for the kind heart, and it shows how much you love that country, Nigeria. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to take more questions, and I'm going to call on Michael Akman. Round of applause. Round of applause for him. He's actually one of the brains behind this. One Nigeria, thank you.
When my wife started, this for you to open your hand means that it's only people like Buhari within that has institution behind him and Atiku with stolen public wealth that can say that kind of a thing. I mean, with a young man with you, and these guys were like 50s or 40s when they got there. Like Babangida was 40. I saw Babangida when he was 40 when he just came in. He was a very young man, but they had guns, and the people that were able to fight them to a standstill were these reporters and Tinubu and Co. And they're the ones still, I mean, they're going to be there for a while. And they're probably going to die there because once they're done, they put their kids there. So I like your courage. And I'm going to stand behind you. I honestly had a candidate which was Atiku. But having, yes.
You are Sowore.
My wife will always tell me that I'm Sowore. And I'll reply about it. But honestly, I have never, and that is me, broadcast my donation. Since I was born, I don't do it.
Do it today.
I always do mine anonymous. But I'll do mine. And
One video.
You will hear from me of my wife. My question is this. Now, 99, when the Lagos State governor, who was Tinubu then, when they were coming in, it was one of you guys that was fighting the military there. The military has not left power, they're still there.
Yeah, that's right.
They're still there, they're not going to leave. They're not going to leave, I'm serious. And the man is not willing to hand over right now. What happened in Osun State and Ekiti State, and
And that's gonna be it, so Sowore can go take some rest. The first time he came to donate. Yes.
What is happening to our country has just happened here. And I'm going to start with that. I never came here to ask any question. Have I asked you any question tonight? I only made a donation. Alright? People who have even made lesser donations were applauded. I wasn't applauded. I gave you cash. No. That is late. I'm not accepting it now. But I am going to ask you a very question so that I don't take people's time. You might not know me. Somebody was saying, introduce yourself. I'm going to introduce myself very well now.
Oh, we don't really have time.
Listen, my name is Dan Alo. I am the former editor of Daily Independent newspaper. I am the pioneer editor for news, called TV News in Nigeria. I've practiced both print and electronic media in Nigeria before coming to America. I'm an activist as well. Okay? We wrote the story that told you how Nigeria will never have a national airline, and it won't happen. No matter what you try. Sowore knows better.
Let us answer the question.
Now, my question is this. AAC has been formed. What we have in Nigeria is politicians hijacking a movement. When APC was formed, people thought, oh, APC is good. But of course, tell me who in PDP didn't run for APC. They all run there. So when this movement is well grounded, what are you putting in place to check that your leadership will not be bought? That is one. They will not hijack your party and then hijack this movement. This is what happened in 1999. The people that fought the military to a standstill, that Babangida stepped down, they were never beneficiaries of the democracy that we have till today. The military are still in power. And that is the reality we have on it.
Over to you, Mr. Sowore.
Thank you so much for these great questions. Umar Abubakar, you're asking what you do to the governors who are all over the place, engaging in corruption and all of these shenanigans that is associated with state governments. You see, the first thing we started with here in terms of conversation is that the justice system in Nigeria doesn't take justice to people and it doesn't bring them to justice. Most people don't know that the governor of a state don't have immunity covering certain things. Yes, they have immunity from prosecution, but they don't have immunity from investigation. That is to say that if you are a governor and you are still inactive, even though we may not be able to arrest you, we can be investigating you until that time that you finish your immunity is over. And as soon as the immunity is over, you can wear a t-shirt saying, EFCC, I'm here. But by the time you are leaving, you will forget the t-shirt there. Or you will not leave even with the t-shirts. You will leave with an orange jumpsuit to another prison. That's the way it should be with a lot of these governors. In fact, the people who abused Nigerian resources the most, apart from president, are governors of states. A lot of them are armed robbers. They are robbing their states, during the daytime. Daylight robbery is what governors are carrying out. So if the president of the country is working actively with security agencies, enabling them, not interfering, I say enabling, most of these governors can be brought under control. So many of you are familiar with how the public service work here. I think it was in Pennsylvania that the governor was jailed for stealing $5,000.
Yeah, Virginia.
Yeah, I think in Pennsylvania, yeah. The governor, he didn't even steal it directly. He used the contractor of the state to go and do something in his house that cost $5,000. He went to jail for it. The governor of Illinois, Blagofish, or what's it called? And yeah, still in jail. In his own case, he was still negotiating to sell Obama's ticket. He didn't sell it yet. He was just contemplating, and he went to jail for it. In Nigeria, the governor of Kano State was caught on tape collecting gandola, as they call it now. His real name is Ganduje, but they are now calling him gandola. The man was caught on tape, not once, not twice, receiving dollars and putting it in his pocket, stuffing it in his cap. Nothing has been done about him. No investigation was carried out. In fact, President Buhari was praising him and saying that the man is a good man because he's completing projects that his predecessor abandoned. You cannot have that done. You can't have this kind of impunity happening and you expect the governors to feel that they are not under threat. You need a president in Nigeria that is not going to cover up any governor or cover up anybody for that matter. And this is why you need a Sowore in the presidency. I know you like calling people in office excellency. I reject it because there's nothing excellent about those characters. And it's part of the thing that we have to get rid of is the amount of praise we heap on people who are doing their job for which they are elected to do. Excellency here, tomorrow they are giving them chieftaincy title. In fact, they don't have the time to do the job because society is distracting them with petty things. I've not seen many times an elected official that is reading policy documents. You know, they are walking around with walking stick, and somebody is carrying their boo-boo. They'll carry the boo-boo on the right, it will fall on the left, they'll carry it on the left. That's nonsense. It's that people who want to lead Nigeria must be people who are willing to roll up their sleeves and go to work day and night. And it hurts me as I'm sitting in front of you that we have not even attained the position yet. Because I feel like we should have started work by now. I say this all the time. There's something that hurts me, that strikes me. Anytime I'm passing through a dual carriageway here, I'm like, how can we just uproot it and take it to Nigeria? If I see a good school, I wish that I could just touch it and, use a bait. But it's possible back home to build these structures. Because South Africa has got it. Even if you go to Ghana, we were the ones who were doing Ghana must go now in the 80s. Now Ghanaians are planning Nigeria must go.
Send our children there to school.
Yes. Kingsley, you asked about maintenance culture. This is very true. But the question you should ask yourself is that Nigerians are maintaining facilities of other countries all over the world. In this country, there are Nigerians who are working at NASA. They are sending and shooting, things into the moon and the space every time. There are Nigerians.
We have one here.
Yeah.
Dr. Dunaya.
Don't put me on like that.
He's a pastor, he's an expert.
There is a Nigerian who was credited with taking out babies from the womb and fix the baby and put the baby. And the baby will be born perfect. And my reaction to him, we need him in Nigeria to come and remove the brains of our leaders. Put it back.
don't like you.
You also asked me about examination malpractices, right? You know, as bad as it sounds, you know the problem with us is our curriculum. So I taught in the US for 8 years now. My first year, I had a little bit of Nigerian mentality. I came to class, you know, this is what you need to do to pass my class. I was very, very firm. You know, the dean called me after 3 weeks. He said, I need to see, I want to review your syllabus. He looked at it and he said, 40% for exam? Why? Reduce that to 20%. I need people to participate in the class. If people don't show up in your class 3 times during the semester, you have to remove them. So, in Nigeria, people don't go to class, they are looking forward to exam. You have to make it, you have to reverse that so that you make attendance and participation compulsory. Every class, I have to give a homework assignment to my students. And guess what? It's also a two-way traffic. As you are grading the students are also grading you. As an adjunct professor, if my grades are not good at the end of the semester, they will not retain me the following year. So it's a balance. But in Nigeria, everybody is going to write the exam. Exam is like 80%, if not 100%. I think it's 10% attendance. Then 90% or 80% exam. Then during the exam period, half of the students are in fellowship, the rest are in town looking for Babalawo to give them to go and pass the exam. And when they are so much under pressure, they hire mercenaries to write the exams for them. Because of course, our university are also not using technology. Yes, it's not secure. It's not a matter of security anymore. In this country, I took, you know, you go and take law, I did LSAT before. You sit in front of a computer, there's no way you can cheat. It's technology. The thing is telling you right there, you know, this is the answer. If you look on the other right to you, the question on the other side is different from the question you are answering, or the way they order it. So you can giraffe all the way you want. There's no way, you are not helping yourself. But beyond that, in that room, there are videos watching you. So when you are going to be expelled, you'll be given the evidence that you cheated. So there's no room for all these things. But in Nigeria, at the University of Lagos, the classrooms don't even have ceiling fan. They are talking about computers. It's not even the students that are a problem as much as the professors who will say to you, look, you want to pass my class. You know what? You tell the girls, come and see me, tell the boys, come and bring something. So, yeah, it's a transactional process that has polluted the education system. But that can be fixed. We can fix it by reversing our curriculum. We can fix it by introducing technology into our university or even secondary school systems, right? My daughter, who is 11 years old, has got more books than the secondary school I attended in Ondo State. I'm not making it up, just my daughter. I went to my secondary school, there's no single book there. If you find it, it's that physics book of 1985. Necon, Abbott. In my secondary school, I still found the book critiquing this. Common mistakes in English. I watched you. Exactly. How can you be teaching people with common mistakes in English in 2019 and you expect them to compete? But lo and behold, even with the worst education system in the world, Nigerians are competing all over the world. That's the interesting part about it. It's a paradox. come to the US to go to school, we still do better with our hand-baked education. We still do better than people who went to school here, because there's a Nigerian spirit behind all of this. Even when people are cheating in exams, which is completely wrong, they also understand that there's a global space out there where they need to compete in the future. So they are doing everything they can. It's just that when people don't have opportunity, they do whatever they can to get what they want. But the moment they find themselves in places where things work, they come around and open their door and say, wow, where did you learn all these things? Because Nigeria, there's something innate inside our system, genetically, that makes us just perform wonders. We succeed everywhere else but home. Yes. Yeah. Last question that I know you're asking about hijacking the political movement or party. This is a very, very important question. We have already faced this problem since we started with the political party. But you know, it takes a lot of work to build movements. And one thing you should understand if you are building a movement is to understand that your opponents, the government, will be interested in either decimating or hijacking the movement. And when you have veterans like us building movements, it's very difficult to hijack it. But that is not to say that we should rest on our hours or take things for granted. Movements have their own DNAs. And a movement whose time has come like this cannot be hijacked by anybody. I can tell you, they try themselves, they lead themselves, and they deliver on their own promise. In this case, it's the liberation of the Nigerian people. And I can I can tell you that our movement is doing very well, it's growing and building, growing very fast. The party is doing very well also. As you can see, we've been here for almost 3 hours now or more, right? And this is Sunday night in Columbus, Ohio. And everybody here, as I can see you guys, you don't have any plans to leave this place.
That's hunger for change.
Yes, because you want, there's that hunger in you, there's that movement in you to change Nigeria. Because as I say, and I think I said at the beginning of this, you know, we are like people who have been out there and seen the world and come to the conclusion that there's a better world back home, if only we can build it. You know, all of us have seen the vanity of American life, right? You've driven the nicest cars, bought homes, you know, lived wherever you want to live. But then you have to deal with depression because it's 6 months, it's cold, and you're like, this, because this is not where you are meant to function optimally. That's the truth. This is not where you are meant to function. And sadly also, America is changing. One day, these guys might decide that even when you are a citizen, you are not part of them. So, even practically, it makes sense to start building a home you can all return to, whether they drive you or they don't. Yes. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I know you don't plan to leave, but I have to leave you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sowore. A round of applause for Sowore himself. And you know what? A round of applause for yourself, because you are making history right now. It's the beginning of a movement. It's the beginning of a revolution. And I can see the passion in every one of you guys. You want a better Nigeria, and you deserve a better Nigeria. And this is how we start. We got to start by putting our ideas together. We got to start by questioning our leaders. Atiku or whoever cannot just come and tell me, hey, this is what I want to do. You need to ask him, how do you intend to do this? Okay, so thank you so much again for coming, and allow me to introduce live on the stage the chief launcher of this big-time fundraising event. Allow me to introduce on stage Dr. Ife D, which is get up on Dr. Ife D. All right.
Before we close, we're going to close in a minute. Close the door, please. Thank you. Before we close, just 2 minutes, my brother Larry will come up. But I want to say this. Not only are you passionate about the change, please remember we're making you ambassadors, advocates. Please educate our people. If people are going to bribe them to take the money and vote for them, guess what? Tell them take the money and go vote for Sowore. We have to be revolutionary about this change. Let's not think it cannot be done, because it is being done. It is doable and we're doing it. And we're all now believers in this movement. So please stay with us and get it done. It is going on. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for the privilege. AAC, take it back. All right, thank you very much for you guys coming. We really appreciate for you coming, for taking your time. We know there's no time. We thank you very much. I want to thank our president candidate right now, Mr. President Omoyele Sowore 2019. And
you want a picture?
Okay, picture.
My president.
I was saying before I go,
let me just take it like that.
Yeah. So before I go, so like we said, our manifesto is spice our needs, which is security, power, infrastructure, corruption, economic destruction. A for health, A for education, A for agriculture, and T for tourism. And if you want to donate, go to www.gofund.com/Sowore2019. Alright, so as for me as a right here, I have my PVC. In case you don't know, I have my own PVC right here. I mean business. So this is my PVC. So you guys go and collect your PVC as well. So thank you very much. I wish everybody safe journey. AAC, take it back.
We're not showing you.
Would you please look over? So, can you please tell them to look at this camera? This is what I'm going to face.
You guys should look up.
Excuse me, can we
This
look
is
up?
my PVC.
Wow, but
I mean business. Eh? No. This is not really.
Excuse me, can we make space so we can post the space?
Mr. Dell, yeah, you need to take the picture while the president. If you become president, yeah, that's how I want to take it.
One day we'll get where you go there, let me take it.
Hey, so that t-shirt up, you need to take me in that.
You take one just
Omoyele Sowore live in Columbus.
Now, so.
Let's go.
Show ya, Misha.
Let's go.